And with a loud, thunderous badoink, there goes the 9-game winning streak. Phillies lose today 5-4 at the hands of the 9-game winning streak, snapping the A's 11-game losing streak. Something's got to give. And this game just had a feeling about it all day that the Phillies just wasn't going to be their day. Jesus Luzardo got off to a rough start, but settled in nicely. But once again, this overinflated or not inflated, but overhyped offense of the Phillies comes up small when needed. Why is JT Realmuto still holding a bat in the lineup? Can we not just designate him the defensive catcher and then have and I know in youth baseball, they got a thing called the courtesy runner where they let somebody come in and run for the pitcher or catcher. Why can't we do that at the major league level for the offensive replacement and just have JT play defense? Because he's one-sided at best these days. And all you Logan O'Hoppe get over it trade people, no, I'm not going to get over it, because every day that JT Realmuto struggles or fails at the plate, I think Logan O'Hoppe could have probably done better in that situation. So, I ain't going to get over it. Jesus Luzardo, it just wasn't his day early on, but, kind of locked it in. And when you go down early 3-0, but it's early, you should be able, with your offense, the way it's constructed, be able to battle back against the terrible A's. But the Phillies offense, that's been kind of smoke and mirror over this 9-game winning streak. Not many people want to get into the X's and O's, or they want to dig a little deeper. This Phillies offense has not been impressing anything. They've not been blowing anybody away. They've struggled against these teams. It took them to get to the Rockies bullpen to get over the hump there. The A's starting pitching has been pretty good. And again, it took the bullpen at times for the Phillies to get up over the A's. And obviously we can talk about the Pirates all you want. So the offense has not been all that impressive. It's continued its struggles even through this 9-game winning streak. So all you people out there who are like, oh yeah, the Phillies are the best team in baseball. I don't think the best team in baseball loses a game like this. Honestly, don't. Because they beat teams they're supposed to beat. And they're supposed to beat the A's, and they did not today. So Phillies lose 5-4, snapping the 9-game winning streak and giving me all the ability to be as obnoxious as I want. But it goes down as a loss for me on the old post-game duties. But welcome back to the Fighting's Final. It's great to be here. And I want to, before we get into it, and there's a bunch of comments, you guys are blowing me up here, and I'm sure it's going to be fun. But before I get into all that, I just want to take a second and thank the hard work and dedication of the members here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network. I was not on any of the late night post games this week, and for purposeful reasons. That's right. I didn't schedule me on there. I hate West Coast baseball. Can't stand it. Can't stand post games at 1 a.m. No, I just, they did a great job. Al, Pat, and Mike, all three of them. And then multiple stops along your dial this weekend too. They weren't just doing post games. They were doing other responsibilities. So thank you guys. Great job. I'll take it from here on the 7 o'clock post game where the real work is done. No, it's a testament to their work ethic, and I want to extend my thanks to them. Even though we're going to have some fun with debunking everything they said on their show this morning, but we're going to do that tomorrow night on the Final Word. We're not doing the Final Word tonight, so we're going to have to wait another day for me to get into that nonsense that they were going on about earlier on their show. Steve checks in. Strom has not really excelled this year. Maybe they got Miller for cheap because it's a rerun of last year in the playoffs as currently constructed. Can't go in October constructed this way. Maybe they can get Miller. They're not going to get Miller on the cheap. Are you talking about Mason Miller? No. And I thought that they kind of already kicked the tires on that. Wasn't that one of the proposed trade teams that called the Phillies over the winter and were inquiring about Alec Boehm? And I believe the name Mason Miller was brought up, and probably Brent Rooker too. And that prompted the A's to hang up. They're not going to get Mason Miller on the cheap. They're not going to get anybody on the cheap, Steve. And even at the trade deadline, they're not going to get anybody on the cheap because teams know the Phillies are kind of not desperate, but they're looking. They're looking. They feel that they're a World Series contender, and they're going to fleece them for as much as they can get out of them. So Mason Miller's not coming here, but boy, I would love Mason Miller here, man. Really would. But would he be able to survive in a role that requires him to come into a game not as the closer? You got to factor that in too. But I agree with your constructed thing, and I've been saying that all year. And I've been saying that pretty much since the beginning of 2023. They're just not constructed right. And they still haven't proven me wrong. Plenty of time to figure it out, but too much fool's gold is not good. Needed this loss as much as I hate to say that. No, Steve, you see, that's again, I cannot wrap my head around it. It's either they're good or they're bad. And good teams win these games. And no, it's not law of averages. It's not, you're going to lose a game here and there. No, you're a better baseball team. You're supposedly a better baseball team. Your payroll was a million times more than theirs is. You're supposed to win these games. There's no reason why the Phillies could not have a 10-game win streak right now. There's really not. And the A's should have a 12-game losing streak. There's none. But this offense, even through the 9-game winning streak, has gone to sleep for huge swaths of the game. I was keeping track of the runners in scoring position over the weekend, over the last 9 games. I believe it was something like 200 or 253 entering this series. It's not impressive. It's standard Phillies offense, and it's not good enough. And it's not going to be good enough to win a World Series. Now, I'm not going to shake a stick at a 9-game winning streak. It's good. And yes, you only play who you can play. But either you're a good team or you're not a good team. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for them losing, and I'm not going to make excuses for them winning either. So they should have won. And they just couldn't do it. And where have we heard that before? Thompson, manager mistakes, just keeps chasing him. He warmed Hernandez at 3-3, then went Strom. Strom, who has been no good in any leverage, and Turner took the game back. Thompson gave it back. Yeah, I mean, we can go talk the analytics of Rob Thompson all you want. It's the standard operating procedure. Once again, it has nothing to do with the feel of the game. And I don't know if Hernandez was really, I mean, to be honest with you, if you're going to if you're going to put Hernandez in, I'm not feeling that either. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Strom was the wrong answer either. But, on the surface, it was probably the analytic of it all, which I kind of don't agree with. But I do agree with the better pitcher. I think Strom is a better pitcher. And if Strom cannot be this type of guy, if Strom cannot be the 7th inning guy or the 8th inning guy, right? I'm not asking him to be a setup guy. I'm asking him to be that back end of the 6th inning. If say whoever's in the 6th can't get out of it, and that 7th inning guy. And that's what he was brought here to do. And it's fool's gold to put Strom in any other position because that's not the type of pitcher he is. He's that 6 2/3 inning guy, come out and get 1 out for the 6th inning, then come back in and get me 3 more outs in the 7th. Or he's the 7th inning guy. And that's been a problem with this team when you have no roles for pitchers. And I'm so tired of talking about this. I'm so tired of going over this over and over and again. And I've said it millions of times while hosting these types of shows, these post-game shows. This team is so wash and friggin' repeat. It's not even, it's scary. All you have to do is change graphics and change team names and dates, and you can just run a Fightins final from any other time in over the last 3 years. And it would sum up this game because we've talked about this type of game, about 1 million times over the last 3 years. This is what the Phillies are. And all this, again, today, boy, they pissed me off on that PM show, man. Woo, man, oh, man. Listen, I strive myself on being a fair person and accepting an opinion to a counter opinion, a counterpoint to a point, all that. I get all that. But that Homer propaganda, that's all it was. Straight up Homer propaganda that they were selling this morning had me cringing in my skin. And I want to apologize to the greater Philadelphia area that might have been listening this morning because their opinions are not necessarily those of the management of It's Rap Sports. All right. They must have been serving red Kool-Aid, man, because good grief. Everything was, they're not this bad, but they are. I'm not saying they're going to win a World Series, but I'm not going to say they're not. No, it's Homer crap, man. Speak your mind. There's no way a rational fan can look at the Phillies as currently constructed, yes, even coming off of a 9-game winning streak, and say they're a World Series contender. Because it's literally the same team that's lost in 23, lost in 24, and here we are in 25. What makes you think they've changed anything? That the outcome of their season will be different when they haven't adjusted the personnel? Anything else is Homer propaganda, and I'm sorry you had to listen to that this morning. I truly am. But you don't have to listen to it anymore. Mistake starting worthless Real Muto and letting him bat 9th. Yeah, I let off with that Hubert Gaffney Racing Stables LLC. We got to come up with something smaller, man. Please, can I call you Hubert or Mr. Gaffney? I mean, something. I ran on about a 3-minute rant about, and this was a topic this morning as well, not lamenting anymore about the Logan O'Hoppe trade and trying to just forget that it ever happened. Well, I can't forget the trade ever happened because every time I see JT Realmuto being herded out there, it comes flashing back to me like a tidal wave. JT Realmuto is worthless at the plate. He's been worthless at the plate now for going on 2 seasons. But there he is, herding them out there. What was he today? 0 for 4, a couple strikeouts. What was that today's line? I want to see where are you at, Mr. Realmuto? 0 for 4 and a strikeout. Sorry, I didn't want to, sorry for saying you got multiple strikeouts. But as I mentioned, can there be a courtesy batter? Can we just keep the same guy in defensively, but like pinch hit for him offensively? But he can still go back and play defense. And again, all you BCIB people out there, thankfully, I don't hear that too much anymore. Thankfully, I don't. Oh, man. I was shocked he started today unless Marshawn is sick or something. Well, it wasn't yesterday, so Marshawn started yesterday, right? So it was a day before a night game? Who started yesterday? I don't even remember. And again, well, no, Steve, I'm not shocked. He had a day off tomorrow, man. Come on. He's supposed to be the starter. And Strom's mechanics are bad. Hernandez, Ross, Ruiz waivers, Strom trade him, Weston Wilson waive him. We kept him in the Clemens is killing me, killing it for the Twins. Trade Marsh and boom. Wow, that's a large list. That's too large of a list to try to actually accomplish in season. There, Hubert Gaffney Racing Stables LLC. It's too much to accomplish during seasons. But you know what a perfect time to do stuff like this is? I don't know. Let's think about this. When would a perfect time to actually try to reshape your ball club or try to kind of fix some of the problems that have been habitually dragging you down for 3 years? Well, that would be the offseason. And we, of course, saw Dave Dombrowski do very little to nothing this offseason. Now, asking for him to do all of this in season would be a big get. It would be huge. And I don't think he has the time, resources, or money to do it. The Phillies have cast their die for at least 2025, and we've known that this is what the team is. They're going to go out and they're going to add an arm for the bullpen. Now, the question is, can they wait until the trade deadline, or do they got to do it now? But you're talking multiple problems in that bullpen, which there are. Carlos Hernandez was a DFA pickup. Joe Ross was a pickup from the Brewers, which is not working out up to this point. Ruiz kind of came here last year, stuck in the bullpen, but now is not really sticking. And Strom, trade him. You're talking about getting rid of like 95% of the bullpen. Who are we keeping here? Tanner Banks and Romano? Is that all you want to keep? We're going to not go too far. But let's try this out there, Hubert Gaffney Racing Stables LLC. Perhaps these pitchers would be better served in roles. Perhaps the Joe Rosses of the world would sleep better at night, knowing that he's not going to be the 8th inning guy. Maybe he'll sleep better at night knowing he's the 5th inning guy. Or Hernandez, the 5th inning guy. Or Ruiz, the 5th inning guy. You get my point? So we're asking pitchers to kind of pitch outside of their world, and it's not working out. Strom, same thing. I'm not giving up on him. I mean, Matt Strom's a good pitcher, and I like Matt Strom, and he's shown in the past that he's got lockdown stuff. But it's about placing him in the right position in the game, and that's where the manager comes in, and obviously this manager does not have roles, so it's very hard. You're going to get lucky every now and again. So I get what you're saying, man. And the Bohm thing, did you also say trade Bohm? Trade Marsh and Bohm. Yeah. That'd actually be a great idea. Bohm right now, at least. Bohm could get something. You can get something for Bohm right now. Absolutely, you can get something for Bohm. Marsh, I don't think so, man. And Hubert Gaffney, Racing Stables LLC says, bring up the youth. The Utes. Well, with that being said, Hubert, today being Sunday on the Fightins Final, we are going to spend some time at the end of the show with our Down on the Phillies Farm segment, a weekly thing we do every week. Makes sense. During the baseball season, where we take a trip around the Phillies minor league system and we get to know those players that hopefully one day, soon, some of them will be wearing Phillies pinstripes. So stay tuned for that at the end of the program. Wasted efforts, and again, hitting since Colorado, non-existent. We win series, we lost in hitting badly. I honestly think you're selling them, you're giving them too much credit here. I honestly think the offense has not been good since the Pirates series. We go further back since coming out of that Cardinal. The offense is what it is. I know they're batting somewhere. What was it? They're averaging 6 runs a game. During that stretch of the last 10 games. I get that, but the offense is still the same thing. It goes to sleep for large portions of the game. We were playing the bottom feeders, and there was a lot of mud being slung towards not giving the bottom feeders their credit or giving the Phillies credit for handling their business. I never said that. I mean, granted, a win's a win. I'm never going to look sideways at a win. But my point through this whole process has been I haven't seen any renaissance from the Phillies. They're the same product. They're just playing really bad competition. Their offense didn't go on a major uptick over the past 10 games. It didn't. It was pretty much where it's been. They just feasted on some bad pitching and some bad bullpens and got what they had to do, get through it. There's been too many games throughout these last 10 that have been somewhat nail biters against these teams. So I'm not going to look sideways at a 9-game winning streak. I won't. But I'm also not going to give them credit where they don't really deserve it. They played Phillies baseball through this portion. They didn't step it up. They didn't grind the Pirates and the Rockies and the A's into the dirt with their heels. They didn't. They played their brand of baseball. Whether or not that's good enough to win a World Series, we'll see. It was good enough to win the last 9 out of 10. But there's not been a resurgence or a rejuvenation of this team in any way that I see offensively. It was their starting pitching that carried them most of the way through this 10-game hit. Absolutely, 100%. The offense has not changed at all. Bohm's picked it up a little bit, and that's really it. Who else? I mean, am I missing somebody? Castellanos slow on defense and deal him too. Start over in May. Woo! Don't believe you're the best team in MLB. You're not, but you can be. Flex and make changes now. Yeah, they can be. They won't be. We knew a loss was coming. Here they come. Here comes Star Wars leading the homer charge. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, it's okay, folks. A loss was coming. So Star Wars 99, my main man, you, friend, or my friend, are going to be the the start of the segment here on the program that is proudly sponsored by Big Al's Excuse Emporium. That's right, folks. Big Al's Excuse Emporium. When you cannot wrap your head around the inconsistent, laissez-faire play of your Philadelphia sports teams, you won't have to here at Big Al's Excuse Emporium. No, because we have excuses for all. And we have excuses for every situation of Philly sports for you to deal with. And new for this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, a red, white, and blue extravaganza on aisle 4 was we knew a loss was coming. That's right. It is nothing to do with, once again, the offense went to sleep. It has nothing to do with the offense came up small in really major positions of the game. It has nothing to do with JT Realmuto's lack of offensive prowess over the last 2 seasons. No, folks, we knew a loss was coming. So come on down to Big Al's Excuse Emporium over the holiday weekend, aisle 14, and you'll find we knew a loss was coming to get you to bed tonight and to get you making you feel that everything is going to be A-okay. So that's Big Al's Excuse Emporium, serving the greater Delaware Valley since the summer of 2024. So there you are, Star Wars. I had to go there. I think I answered that question. We knew it all was coming, folks. We let Cody Clemens go. Cody Clemens. Blech. A's manager got jet. Yeah, was it Mark Kotze? And then Andahar followed him right out the next pitch. You know, it is what it is. If you're goading me into talking about the umpires, you don't have to. Let's ask. I'll talk about it. I'll start off with all my umpire stuff by saying that the best view of every pitch in this game was from behind the catcher, not from your Barco Lounger in your living room or in the press box at the was it River Cat Stadium there in Sacramento. It was behind the catcher and the man in the black shirt. He had the best view in the house when viewing pitches. Now, whether or not you agree with they were up, they were down, we'll wait to see the report card. I wasn't really paying attention to every pitch, so we got to wait to see the report card. tomorrow to make that assessment. But yeah, I know frustration kind of boils over, especially when you've lost 11 in a row and you're trying like a Dickens to win. And he was sticking up for his guys. I think he thought Andujar was about to get dumped. That's why Kotze kind of chirped from the dugout. Then, of course, he got dumped. And the best thing about getting dumped in this stadium is you got to wait for the guy to walk all the way down the third base line to the corner of left field. It's not just go right back in the dugout and disappear in the clubhouse. No, you got to walk down the left field line all the way down. And he walked slow, and I would walk slower. I'd walk on my hands if it was me. It'd be so slow. It'd take me an hour to get out there. But, yeah, he got dumped, and then Andujar got dumped right after he was swinging at a pitch. And that, and that's the I love those ejections. I love when a player gets thrown out after he swings at a bad pitch, misses the pitch, then turns around and blames the umpire for setting that whole sequence up. By your strike zone made me go after this terrible pitch because I don't know what you're going to call. I absolutely love when that happens. Matter of fact, those are snapshot moments for me. I will take selfies when those happen, but that would be unprofessional of me. But I love it, and I've had it happen a few times in my career. It's your fault that it's my fault you swung at a pitch 30 inches over your head. Okay. Whatever gets you to sleep at night. Is that aisle 7 at Big Al's Excuse Emporium? It's your fault that I struck out because of your strike zone. So it was pretty funny. I love ejections, man. I love them. You're right about O'Hoppe, too. I am absolutely right about O'Hoppe. I had to go round and round with some hardcore homers this morning, Hubert Gaffney, Racing Stables, LLC, who told me to get over the trade, that it's not healthy to relive it. It's not healthy to lament over it. And I say it is, because every time I see JT Realmuto flail at a pitch, every time I see JT Realmuto ground into a double play, every time I see JT Realmuto not be able to move runners over or runners in, I'm immediately brought back to the young man, Logan O'Hoppe, who could be right now poised to take over the starting role here for the Phillies. So I am going to completely revisit until we fix this. And I'm not saying go back and retrade for Logan O'Hoppe, but move JT out of there, find another bat, and let's move on. You say they were strict. You say they were strict with the umpires? No, I don't think they were. Thanks, boss. Oh, you're welcome. You're absolutely 100% welcome, Mike. You did a great job. I know, people out there don't really understand how hard it is. You got to sit through the game. It's on the West Coast. I know the feeling. I've been there. 2:00 in the morning, and the last thing you want to do, and thankfully, last night's game was a lot more energetic than Friday night's game, and kind of keeps you riveted. But you start nodding off late in the game, especially in a boring game. Then you got to muster up the energy to come on at 2 in the morning and pray to God no one's watching, but everyone is, because everyone else can't sleep either. And then you got to turn around in Mike's case and do a show this morning. And now that's dedication right there. You're absolutely welcome, Pat. Thank you, Pat Bernard. Thompson praising his training crew. Don't do that shit now. It's his fault, and hold people. He's never going to do that. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't do that. He's never going to do that in the open air of the public. Do you think the game last night burned the Phillies bullpen for this game? I do not. I thought Luzardo pitched well. I thought, with 7 innings, I see what you're saying, because of what they had to use 7 pitchers last night. It might have. I don't know, but you're a Major League Baseball pitcher. And you better be able to figure out, and your manager better be able to figure out what the right combination is. You had a day off tomorrow, so you muster up whatever you have to get in there. It's that old adage, man, when you're growing up playing sports. Do you want to be the kid that says, hey, coach, man, I pitched last night. Yeah, I'm not going to, don't give me the ball. Or do you want to be the guys, I don't care if I pitched 1,000 innings last night. Give me the ball, coach. I want to go out there and I want to shut this thing down. And if there's a question of that type of character on this team, well, maybe that's the problem number one. I'm not saying that it is the case, but I'm not gonna go with that. Were they tired? Probably were. They've been on the road for a while. A lot of games, having a day off in a minute. And yeah, they probably were tired. But guess what? You signed the contract on the dotted line, not me. Now you go out and perform. And if you don't have that, give me the ball, I don't care when was the last time I pitched attitude, then maybe you shouldn't be pitching for the Phillies or anybody else in that aspect. Play small ball. Absolutely, Sowers. 100%. 100%. I will say it again. How the fuck was JT playing today? Did Marshawn have explosive diarrhea? Talk to the manager, man. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, Steve. Well, I mean, Rob Thompson is an enigma. How do we know half the stuff? Is anybody going to ask that question? I haven't seen the post game, so but I don't know. I don't know. This team is in a very weird position. You know the shortcomings, yet they have to wait out the market now in their hands, now in their minds. How about creating competition? I mentioned that before, Steve. I don't know how that would work in this culture that's been set by Rob Thompson. I don't know, when you have a culture that seemingly the players run the show, how that competition is going to be looked at, especially by some young hotshot rookie that's going to come up here and put one of the veterans on the bench. I don't know if there's a type of environment that's conducive for that, because I don't think the manager has a thumb on all that. I think if that happens, players are going to start taking matters in their own hands and threaten. I'm not, hey, this is livelihoods we're talking about. And that's the problem with the culture that this team has set, with Rob Thompson seemingly letting the players dictate everything. I agree with you. There's players that are literally scratching at the door to get in here. Mick Abel. Why is Mick Abel back in Lehigh Valley? Mick Abel pitched last night. 7 innings, like 9 strikeouts, something like that, dominated again. Why isn't Justin Crawford up here and Brandon Marsh on his way somewhere else? Why isn't Otto Kemp at least sitting on the bench pushing Alec Boehm to be a little bit better? Right? Why not? And then I can honestly say, why isn't Garrett Stubbs up here pushing JT? Because right now there's players in Lehigh Valley that deserve the opportunity, and they're blocked. Blocked by what? I don't know. They're not being blocked by good play. They're being blocked by big contracts. So if you're not going to play these guys, Steve, right? If you're not going to give them a chance, then by all means, drain the whole damn thing. Trade them all. Because them sitting in Lehigh Valley, unless you're from the Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton area, and you're jonesing for a AAA World Championship, which it looks like the Pigs are on their way at least competing in, then don't make any changes. But if you're a Phillies fan, and if you look at all levels of the minor leagues as a breeding ground for the major leagues, then get them up here, let them play, or trade them. Don't have them sit down there, because their value is probably on some of these guys never going to be as high as it is right now. Get rid of them if you're not going to play them. And that question is not being asked at all of Phillies management, or it's not being asked the way I would ask it. But you're right, Steve. Why aren't they creating competition? Why is it the status quo? That's because of those contracts. All right, let's get back into this thing. Phillies on the day finished with 4 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. The A's 5 runs, 11 hits. Offensively, for the A's, the Philly killer himself, Brett Rooker, 3 for 4 with a run. Davidson, 2 for 3. And Wilson, who's up there herking and jerking around. That guy needs like a sedative, man. But he was 3 for 4 with a homer today. And they were listen, the A's got some good young players, man. They really do. They got a little ways to go. They got to get a pitching staff, and they got to get a few more veterans in there, but they're not that far away. The A's are not that far away from turning this thing around. I would say another 2 years. By the time they get to Vegas, I think the A's are going to be a competitive baseball team. For the Phillies, Bryce Stott leading off 0 for 4. Trey Turner was continued his hot self, 2 for 3 to include the home run that got the Phillies back in this thing late. Bryce, where have you been? Harper 0 for 4. Kyle Schwarber 1 for 3, and then a bunch of nothing. Alec Boehm 2 for 4. Average is up to 272. I believe they saw the graphic that when the 9-game the 9-game winning streak began, his batting average was 150, and now he raised it all the way up to 272. Rojas came in as a pinch runner late and got thrown out, trying to steal and to move the potential tying run into scoring position in the bottom of the 9th. He was obviously going to get a plate appearance. And Brandon Marsh, though, 2 for 3, but who cares? Brandon Marsh is history. Pitching-wise, we mentioned Luzardo getting off to that slow start. Gives up the big runs there early in the game the first inning, gives up a 3-run first inning, but then locks it down pretty much for the rest of the time out there. On the day, he was 7 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs. They were earned, a walk, 10 strikeouts, and a homer. 105 pitches, though, through 7 innings. And Matt Strahm comes in and absorbs the loss. He pitched an inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, a walk and a strikeout. For the A's, Hoglund, another interesting start for him. 5 innings. That's all he lasted. 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 strikeouts, and 92 pitches over 5 innings. It's classic Phillies offense, man. They nibble, but they don't bite. And they were getting people on. They were getting hits. They just could not blow it open, or they could not get the big hit. They were dinking and dunking their way back into this after going down 3-0. Hoglund was not, by all means, a great pitcher. The Phillies had him on the ropes. They just let him off, and they couldn't finish him off. And that's the story of this offense. Harris, Ferguson, and Mason Miller to save. His 12th finished it up for the A's. Scoring summary: Wilson would get it going with wasn't the first pitch at the bottom of the first with the homer to make it 1-0. Then Davis would double to left. Andujar and Rooker would score. That would cap a 3-run first inning. The Phillies will come right back in the second inning and get this thing scratched to 3-1. Was Real Muto would ground to a double play, forcing in a run. No RBI in that situation. His 10th grounded into double play of the season for JT. Trey Turner would then knock in Marsh in the third to make it 3-2, and the Phillies would get it all tied up in the fifth with a Turner sac fly. But then the Phillies would go up 4-3 in the eighth as they completed the comeback and took the lead on the home run by Trey Turner. But then things would kind of come apart in the eighth inning. Butler would triple in Davidson, and then McGilver, MacGyver. Is it not? It's McGilver? Is it MacGyver? You know what I'm talking about. The catcher would knock in Butler to make it 5-4. Phillies were unable to get anything off of Mason Miller in the ninth, other than the single there by Alec Boehm. And then Rojas would come in and fail to extend the inning with getting thrown out, trying to steal second. They reviewed it, and the call was upheld. All right. So Phillies lose 5-4. Joe Hale's chiming in saying a tough loss. No, not a tough loss. A Phillies loss. All right. Let's go on to the Broad Street bottom line. My Broad Street bottom line from this game is it too much to expect the BCIB, the best catcher in the sport of baseball? Let me say it again, the best catcher in the sport of baseball, to do anything more than go 0 for 4 and ground to a double play? Is it too much to ask for that offensively? Or have we, once again, are we falling in love with the player versus the talent? And JT Realmuto, is it safe to say his better days as an offensive threat are behind him? And if so, what's the plan? Is this really the plan? To ride out JT Realmuto and his terrible offense the rest of the way through the season? And yes, Logan O'Hoppe, where have you gone? And I will keep, if as long as JT keeps it fresh in my mind, I'm going to keep holding on to it. So my Broad Street bottom line is there's got to be a better option offensively for the catcher position. Or maybe there isn't, and defense is all that really matters for Rob, because they got him batting down in the 9-hole. But God, oh God, have we slipped and fallen from the heavens above? JT Realmuto has become a liability at the plate versus from behind it. So my Broad Street bottom line is, how much more do we have to wait on JT Realmuto before pulling the trigger on nothing, because there's nothing to pull the trigger on, because we lost our only major league capable prospect catcher in a bad trade a couple years ago. So that's my Broad Street bottom line, is when is enough too much for JT Realmuto offensively? And that was, of course, brought to you by the fine folks here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network that bring you quality programs such as The Final Word with Matty B. Usually seen every Sunday through Thursdays at 10 p.m., but not tonight because I got postgame. I'll be back tomorrow night, as we will have plenty to talk about. I will be delivering your final word in your Philadelphia Sports Day. So make sure you're tuned in at 10 p.m. Sundays through Thursday. If you want the truth, if you can handle the truth, then by all means tune in. If not, tune in anyway. It's jolly good fun. Can't wait for the minor league roundup that you guys do. I mean, that you guys do. I do it, Joe. Don't make it sound like the others have any hand in that at all. I develop it. I put it together. I present it. Sometimes they present it because I can't do Sunday postgame for whatever reason, but it's what I do. All right. There's like 1% them, 99% me. Okay. Right now, this team is in marinara is the marinara without the garlic. Steve, I got to hand it to you, man. You come from the top ropes with this stuff, and you give people things to think about all the time, and that is one of them. The marinara without the garlic. Isn't that just ketchup? Isn't that pretty much just ketchup? Yeah. But you're right, Steve. You're right. All right, let's move now through let's go around the bases because we do have some scores to go over on this lovely Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, 2025. Let's go round and round and round the bases. All right, here we are. Games that are currently still happening. It's 5-3 Yankees over the Rockies in the bottom of the eighth. Out in up in Queens, it's 1-0 Dodgers over the Mets. Is that a second game? No, it's not. I thought that was the second game of doubleheader. It's 1-0 Dodgers over Mets in the top of the first. That must have been on a delay. Oh wait, no, it's after 7. My bad. It's the 7 o'clock. You know what time it is? It's the 7 o'clock game. Woo! Games that have gone final. They're the only two still happening. Games that have gone final, it's 5-0 Tigers over the Guardians, 6-1 Orioles over the Red Sox, 6-5 Brewers over the Pirates, 3-2, I was going to say 49ers, Giants over the Nationals, 11-8 Cubs over the Reds, 13-0 the Rays all over the Blue Jays, 2-1 Royals over Twins, 5-3 Astros over the Mariners, the Mariners, Texans, the Rangers, 5-4 over the White Sox, and it was the Cardinals 4-3 over the D-backs, 3-0 Marlins over the Angels, and 5-3 Padres over the Braves. And that's your around the bases on this lovely Sunday afternoon, Memorial Day weekend, 2020-25. Mike Laura wants to know, when will Painter join the Phillies? I hope late. Why? No need to. Later the better. And thanks. I don't know. Thanks for what, Hubert? But you're welcome. All right, it's Sunday, so let's get to that part. Of course, Phillies will be off tomorrow. They'll be heading home. They'll be heading home for a Tuesday slate here at Citizen Bank Park to start a 6-game homestand Tuesday against the Braves. Here's your lineup on the Fighting's final for said Brave series. I will be back on Tuesday, so really not going to get much of the final word this week. We're going to get Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Or Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I got you Tuesday. Pat's got you on Wednesday. And Mike will come at you on Thursday for the Brave series. No games tomorrow. Just me on the final word. So pretty blah day. But it's a holiday, so you guys should be enjoying yourselves anyway. But anyway, let's what was I doing? What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the series on Tuesday. The Braves will be coming into town. Interesting series for the Phillies. A real interesting series. I'm be very, very interesting over the next 6 games. They got the Braves and Brewers. See how they kind of how things kind of work out for this team. Braves, the Braves have been kind of playing catch up since it all began. They're working their way back, but I don't know if they're back yet. Spencer Strider, though, we're going to get the chance to see him as he'll open the series up against Taijuan Walker. So interesting on TBS, the Superstation. Has them on Tuesday. So make sure you're checking that out. Spencer Strider versus Taijuan Walker on Tuesday night. I did not know Spencer Strider was slated to pitch in this series, but he's coming back. Woo-hoo. All right. So it is Sunday. And on every Sunday, we take a little walk around the minor leagues with all the talk about all the prospects and about some people's willingness to just deal them willy-nilly. Say, you know what? We don't need you. We can get Carlos Estevez, or we can go get Noah Syndergaard, or we can go get Brandon Marsh for you. Somebody wants to be willy-nilly and trade all the prospects, but not me. I like prospects. I think prospects are the future, and the future is championships. And right now, we're devoid of all that. But we are not devoid of prospects. So we're going to do our weekly segment that's called Down on the Phillies Farm, where we travel to all 6 levels. 5. 1, 2, 3. 5 levels of the Philly minor league system, and we kind of kick things around, see how the players are doing, see how the teams are doing. Just have some fun. So let's get it rocking and rolling. Brought to you, of course, by the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Let's start down there in rookie leagues or in the FCL league with the FCL Phillies. The Phillies the FCL Phillies this week were 1-4. So far, 4-12 on their young season. Your player of the week was for the second straight week, by the way, and the third time overall. The FCL Phillies have been in action for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. This is his third time overall and second time in a week that he's been the player of the week. Arleo Ferrabus, the catcher. This week, 4 games, 3 hits, 2 runs, a homer, and 4 runs batted in. It's nice to know that we have some continuity, lower levels. We got Eduardo Taid, of course, that's in high A. And now you got Farabus. I'm sorry, he's in low A. And you got Farabus with the FCL Phillies. Farabus is a undrafted free agent. He was assigned to the DSL Phillies Red Squad back in 2023. He's kind of worked his way into the lineup. He's 19-year-old. This is his first year. Actually, last summer he was assigned to the FCL Phillies. And he's been working his way through the minor leagues. Was re-signed over the winter. And, of course, just down FCL Phillies right now. Potentially could be with the performance that he's been kind of having over the start of this season. Maybe working his way up. And maybe the future is bright when it comes to catcher. Maybe Logan O'Hoppe will be forgotten about me at some point. But Farabus, who's down there at low rookie league. And then you got Eduardo Taid up in low A. They're the future of the position. Your pitcher of the week is Alexis De La Cruz. A game, no wins, 3 innings, no earned runs, 5 strikeouts, no walks, and no ERA. De La Cruz is another undrafted free agent, international player. Was signed by the Phillies back in January of 2023. Was in the Dominican Summer League last year and has now made his way into the FCL, the United States Summer League. So very much a raw prospect. 6'6", 205, 20-year-old pitcher. He is a righty. So I believe this is his second time on the list too. As of course, this is like the glimpse of the way future, but that's what's happening down there in the Florida Complex League. Phillies, the FCL Phillies this week were 1-4 so far for the season. They are now 4-12. Moving on up to low A in Clearwater. 3-3 were the Thrashers this week. 23-21 overall for the season for them. Your fielder of the week is Carter Matheson, the outfielder. 4 games, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, and 3 RBIs. The third time Carter Matheson has appeared on this tracker as the fielder of the week for the Thrashers. Matheson is a highly touted draft pick of the Phillies last year in the 5th round. Pick 162 overall from Indiana University. Has been on a meteorical rise through the Philly organization since joining the Phillies. He actually was assigned. He bypassed the rookie leagues and went right to low A last August, and started the season in low A. But immediately, has pretty much been rising his way up. Started the season with the FCL Phillies roster-wise, but that switched very within the day after the season began for the FCL Phillies. He was transferred up to Clearwater, so he's been up with low A again. Really good young prospect outfielder. Really looking forward to seeing what this kid can do. Keeping an eye on him. Again, he's showing up on these slides every week, and you got to take notice after a while. Your pitcher of the week is Reese Dutton. 2 games, no wins, 9 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 13 strikeouts. That's why he's got player of the week honors. 13 strikeouts, 3 walks, and a 6 ERA. Not nothing really to shake a stick at, but Reese is an undrafted free agent by the Phillies back in 2023. He was undrafted out of Kansas. So before going to the University of Kansas, he kind of bounced around some professional baseball leagues, but then he went to University of Kansas. Only spent about a year there. Then the Phillies signed him as a free agent last summer, and he's been in the system since then. So a younger pitcher. He's 24, so I don't know if younger old pitcher. I don't know really what his is he just another camp guy maybe, but when you're at that level, you always got to keep an eye on him. And Reese Dutton is your pitcher of the week for the Clearwater Thrashers. Moving on up to high A and Jersey Shore. 3-3 were the Blue Claws on the week. 16-25 so far for the season. Carson DeMartini, the greatest name in baseball. Shortstop, 6 games, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, and 6 RBIs. He was a draft pick of the Phillies last summer as well. I remember actually very vividly when they selected him. He was taken in the 4th round, 130th overall out of Virginia Tech. It's the name. Carson DeMartini started the season last year in August with the Clearwater Threshers, and then was in camp with the Phillies over the summer, and then moved right down back to Clearwater, and then moved right up to Jersey Shore, right when the season began. So was promoted prior to the season started, but he got promoted up to high A. He's somebody to keep an eye on. I don't think shortstop's a block position anymore. And, the Phillies thought a lot of him to draft him where they did. And he's been on a rise ever since. Again, didn't really spend but, I don't know, month and a half in low A, and then automatically got promoted after a good summer good spring with the Phillies, got promoted to high A. Probably, I would say double A, Reading at some point this year for him. But he is your fielder of the week. Your pitcher of the week is a old friend of ours here on this particular presentation, Mavis Graves. A game, no wins, 5 innings, 5 in the 3rd pitch, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a 3.38 ERA. Mavis, where you at, Mavis? There you are. Mavis Graves, a 2022 6th round pick for the Phillies, 182 overall, came out of high school for the Phillies. He's currently 21 years old, been working his way through the Phillies system slowly but surely since then. He really has kind of caught fire over the last year. I remember talking about him last year in Clearwater, and he's really picked it up. I think last season he was featured 6 times in the Down the Farm segment with the Threshers, and now he's kind of picking up where he left off. I believe this is his 2nd time with the Blue Claws. Big, strapping 6'6", 205-pound lefty. Probably has bullpen maybe on him. I don't know if he's a starter at this level, but got some fast and violent stuff. And Mavis Graves has been making a name for himself over the last year in the lower end of the Phillies minor league system, and he continues to do so. And again, the Blue Claws were 3-3 for the week, 16-25 now on the season, and that brings us to Double A and Reading. 2-4 were the Fightins over the week, and now 14-27. They're trying to put their season back together again. They got off to a terrible start, but now 14-27 on the year. Seth Beer, yeah, I had to double check that too. Seth Beer, the first baseman, 5 games, 4 hits, 4 runs, a homer, and 2 RBIs. He is your fielder of the week. And I was wondering, when the hell did Seth Beer join the Phillies? The last I had heard, he wasn't even in Major League Baseball. Now, Beer is an interesting case study. Drafted by the Houston Astros with the 28th overall pick in the 2018 draft. Bounced around, went to Houston, went to Arizona, actually made it to the majors with the Diamondbacks for a brief cup of coffee in 21-22. After that, he was on his way to Pittsburgh to play for the Pirates. Didn't really cut it there in Double A, and then started the season back in April with the Long Island Ducks of the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball, a non-affiliated professional baseball league here in the northeastern part of the United States. And the Phillies selected his contract, or they signed him as a free agent back on May 12th. And he's joined the system and was assigned to Clearwater, or not Clearwater, but Reading. And he makes your fielder of the week slide. So Seth Beer making a comeback, and he's doing it with the Phillies. Go with your bad self there, Seth. Your pitcher of the week is Michael Newborn. 2 games, 1 win, 5 2/3, 5.5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, 2 walks, and a 3.18 ERA for Mitch. Mitch Newborn is from Johannesburg, South Africa. That's right. He is a international player. The Phillies selected him. So basically, he went from playing in South Africa or growing up in South Africa to playing professional baseball in Australia before latching on with the Phillies. Actually had a couple stints. It was latching on with the Phillies back in 2020. Where was that? 2023. He's been with the Phillies organization since 2023. He's been working his way up. A great story for the kid. I don't know if you call a 27-year-old a kid, but he's a right-hander at 6 foot, 190 pounds. It's just kind of house money with him. But from Johannesburg, South Africa, is where Mitch Newborn hails from. So he is your pitcher of the week for the Reading Fighting Phillies. And then let's finish our trip. Yes, with Lehigh Valley, the toast of the International League of AAA baseball. 5-1 were the Iron Pigs on the week as they continue their torrid start to the season. 35-15, the Iron Pigs are so far in 2025. Your fielder of the week, I'm not making this up, man. It's just not coincidence, but your fielder of the week is Otto Kemp. 3 games, third baseman, 6 games, 3 hits, 5 runs, 2 homers, and 5 RBIs for the journeyman non-drafted free agent of Otto Kemp as he's scratching at that door. What else is there to say about Otto Kemp? I mean, since about this point last year, he kind of showed up on my radar as he was routinely showing up on the Down on the Farm segment weekly as we were kind of going through this. Otto Kemp is an undrafted free agent. He's from Nazareth. He played at Point Loma Nazarene out there in California. He's 25 years old, 5'11", 185-pound third baseman, but can play first base as well. Been bouncing around. The Phillies picked him up as a free agent back in 2022, and he's been working his way slowly but surely through the system. Had a breakout year last year in AAA. Was assigned to the Glendale Desert Dogs for the Arizona Fall League, and then has continued that success through 2025. When does Otto Kemp get his chance, as he is literally scratching at the door? And joining him at that door is Mick Abel. Again, I'm not making this up. Mick Abel is your pitcher of the week for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. You're asking, Matty B, how can he be the pitcher of the week for the Iron Pigs? Because he pitched for the Phillies last week. Well, that's true. He did. But if you see there's 2 games that Abel pitched in this week. One was with the Phillies and one was with the Iron Pigs. He pitched yesterday. And yes, I am wrapping his Phillies start into this stat. 2 games, 2 wins, 13 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 17 strikeouts, 4 walks, and finished up with a 1.50 ERA over those 2 games. I know Mick Abel's sort of kind of fallen out of the heavens out of nowhere, and I know he has, but I was back on the Mick Abel train about the halfway point of last year when I started seeing a little bit more consistency from him. And one of the things that stood out from Mick Abel, of course, was the strikeouts. Boy, was he getting high rates of strikeouts, and he was chewing up innings left and right. Comes up with the Phillies, gets an opportunity, does the most he can with that opportunity. And what does he get for his friggin' time? He gets sent right back down to Lehigh Valley, where he continues to dominate. He's sort of kind of upped his game this year. He has really kind of worked out all the inconsistencies out of that game with command issues. He's still having a little bit of an issue with the curveball, but when he's throwing that curveball at 85 miles an hour, I'll take the issues. But he's striking out players at an epic pace for the Iron Pigs and for the Phillies so far. Mick Abel, the former 2020 first-round pick, 15th overall out of Jesuit High School, has had a well-documented, slow rise through the Philly system. But his time is now, and especially the 2 people that I'm looking at right here, Otto Kemp and Mick Abel. Either shit or get off the pot, Phillies, with these 2 individuals. Give them opportunities with the big team or get them out of here, because they're doing nothing for the Phillies where they're at right now. It is time to make a decision on those individuals. And again, the Pigs, unless, of course, you're into the Pigs and you're in for a World Series for the AAA side. But 5-1 were the Iron Pigs over the week, 35-15 on the season thus far. And that's it. That is your trip through the Phillies minor league system on this week. And hope you guys enjoyed that. Really, I really hope you enjoyed it. The Achilles heel of the Phillies is still their bullpen. All I know is the Phillies need another lefty reliever ASAP, or Strahm will be worn out. Absolutely. The Phillies have a weak bench when Marsh is used as a pinch hitter. Phillies team, as I've been saying for years, need more than Matty Stairs, just a bopper. Yeah. All this stuff's right, man. Tait is our Devers behind the plate. That's lofty expectations. I hope he's not our Devers like this year. Devers is having a terrible season. But Tait can't get here fast enough for me. He really can't. And it's really purely to get rid of this Logan O'Hoppe taste. I need him here. I need him to be a Philly soon, because I gotta get over Logan O'Hoppe. And I'm not going to be able to unless another young stud catcher comes down the pike, and that's Eduardo Tait and Farabus, honestly. Right now, I mean, his rookie leagues, but that's what's going to get me over O'Hoppe as another stud catcher. Well, Bohm is batting 272, so Kemp probably won't get a shot till next spring if Bohm walks within, which sucks. Bohm can't walk. Bohm still has another 2 years of control. He's not a free agent at the end of 27, I believe. So he's still under team control for 2 more years. I disagree. I think they should trade him. Trade somebody. God damn it. I don't care who at this point. I don't want Bohm. But if they want Bohm, then trade Kemp. They don't want Bohm, then trade Bohm. Do something. Something's got to change, Michael. Something's got to change. If I'm a betting man, Abel is traded and possibly Kemp, which sucks for both. Yeah. I'm thinking that way too. But, at this point, Mike, do something. Do something. But yeah, it's going to give me 100,000 hours of more content to complain about if they trade Abel. Man, I could lose my mind. But listen, 5-4 Phillies lost in all this. Was a Phillies loss and the end of a 9-game winning streak. Phillies will have a day off tomorrow, and they will get things going again on Tuesday against the Braves. Spencer Strider right now is being reported as the starter, and he'll be opposed by Taijuan Walker at the bank on Tuesday. Here's your Fighting's final lineup for next week. I got you on Tuesday. Pat's got you on Wednesday, and Mike will have you on Thursday, as we will get you through the rest of this week and into the weekend when we get the Brewers. So Phillies lose 5-4, 9-game winning streak is over. Phillies are still in pretty good shape, I guess. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being part of the show. There is no there's no final word tonight, as I'm burning up my final word quota right now. I will talk to you again tomorrow night from the final word. Until then, you guys have a great rest of your night. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Enjoy your day off, and we'll talk again real soon when we get back to this. Bohm can walk after after 2026. Yeah, I have something like that. We'll talk on Tuesday. You guys take care.